Good morning. This is Jason Ucino from Learning Space, and I'm driving to school. Today I'm going to be talking about those silly errors in the exams. They come up a lot. We hear about them. Oh, mum, oh, dad, I made stupid mistakes in the maths exam. Here are the three main reasons why students make silly mistakes in an exam. The first one is not setting out the working properly. What I find when I mark exams, many students make silly errors because when they write out their working, because it's not neat and set out correctly, they miss stuff in their own working, or they misread something in the previous line of their working. And because of that, they make a silly error and lose marks, not because they don't know the maths, but simply because they don't set out their working correctly. So setting out working is something that students need to become good at. And this is the reason why a lot of teachers are very adamant about showing working when they are in the classroom with the students. So it's important for students to show working every time they do a question, not just in exams, but every time they complete a question in class as practice, setting out working correctly, just to get into the habit of it. So then it becomes second nature to them during an exam context. So that's the first one. The second one is not reading questions properly. A little word can make all the difference in the questions. For example, in financial maths, if it says annually or monthly, that makes all the difference in a question. So not reading questions properly can cost marks. Again, not because they don't know the maths, but simply because they're not reading the questions properly. To get around this one, I would recommend a student to bring a highlighter into the exam and to highlight the important words as they read the question. This will do two things. One, it will highlight the important words like monthly or yearly, and it will also slow them down when they're reading it. So the slowing down of the reading will make sure that they read the questions a little bit better than if they were to rush through it. So highlighting important words, and if they don't have a highlighter, simply underlining the important words in the question is very useful when it comes to reading questions. Thirdly is the calculator. Students have lost marks simply because they pressed the wrong button on the calculator. This one is a hard one to get around. Most of the time students press the wrong buttons on the calculator simply because they're rushing. So the best thing to do here is to slow down, keep an eye on the clock, and make sure that they leave questions out that they're spending too much time on, and just utilize their time. So become better with time. This can be practiced with past papers in time conditions, but absolutely need to be very careful with rushing through a maths exam by pressing buttons on the calculator incorrectly. So they're the three main reasons why students make silly mistakes in exams. The first one is not setting working out correctly. The second one is not reading questions properly. And finally, pressing the wrong buttons on the calculator. If you can overcome those three things, it reduces the chances of making stupid mistakes or silly errors in exams. The other thing about the calculator is the student also needs to remember to reset the calculator before starting the exam. There are some settings on the calculator that may influence the answer, especially in topics like trigonometry. So students should learn how to reset their own calculators and should reset their calculator before they sit the exam. That way they won't make any errors with the calculator simply because of their settings. I've seen students lose marks because of that as well. If you like my videos, there are more of them at learningspace.net.au/driving to school, and have a good day.